Alright guys, I am fired up today. Who ever thought up the idea of gun-free zones, and where is the man or the people that thought that this would be a good idea? You take somebody that's going to go into a building and commit murder, severe injury, and a whole list of other felonies, and you think that a sign posted outside of somewhere that says gun-free zone is going to stop him from doing those other items that I just mentioned? You're whacked. You're crazy. I'm going to tell you guys something. If in the schools they would allow the principals and the teachers, as far down even as the janitor, if they are trained and they want to get a carry concealed permit to carry inside of a school, that is how you go about battling somebody coming in and shooting up the place. But what happens is the teacher that goes to school and enjoys shooting and has a carry concealed permit and does all these things, he sees the sign that says gun-free zone. He's a good law-abiding citizen, so he bows out, leaves his gun at home. Then when he's at school and somebody comes in and they want to start shooting up the building, all this guy can do is hide in the corner with some of the kids and hope that he can save maybe 2 or 3 people that's behind him. It just doesn't work. I'm telling you what, guys, the liberals in this country, the far left liberals, are ruining this country. And I'm going to tell you guys, there is a lot of bans that's going to be coming. I would bet every single thing I owned, every dime I have, there is going to be bans coming like you never thought of, but that's not what this video is about. That's going to be a separate video. You see, you don't try to make people feel happy by putting up a sign that shows a gun with a red circle around it and a line through it. It means no guns, right? That may make you feel all warm and fuzzy when you go to bed at night. But I'm going to tell you what, in the real world, that means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anybody that is intent on doing what some of these people have done when they go into a place and shoot it up over the past 10 years, that sign meant no more to them than turning the doorknob and walking right in and doing whatever they felt they wanted to do. The wording of that sign should be changed. It should, instead of gun-free zones, it should say, "Attention mass murderers. If you are entering here, we have already helped you out. We have disarmed all the law-abiding citizens that has guns or has gun permits. You now have free reign to do whatever you want until the police arrive," which who knows how long that could be. And they set up and talk about what they want to do before they go in. Stand outside and listen to the gunshots go pop, right? Guys, I'm telling you, I've had messages from teachers, and I've had messages from college students, and anonymously, they have told me, they didn't tell me what school they teach or where they go to college, they have told me that they have a carry concealed permit, and they carry their gun even while they are at work or while they are at college, in school, and my reaction to that is, hey, more power to you. I look at you as one of the good guys. But the fact of the matter is most people out there are not going to carry their sidearm for self-defense if they are a teacher because of that little policy that says gun-free zone. The gun-free zone wording means nothing. In fact, on the opposite spectrum, it just means that you can safely go in there with a gun and shoot as many people as you want, and you'll never have a gun pointed back at you or have a bullet whiz by you. We need to get these things changed around. You can ban all the items that you want and all the guns that you want, but people who are intent on killing, they will find a way and they will use another means to do their killing. They're not going to stop. They're not going to just sit down and sit back and say, hey, you know, I really want to do this, but yeah, since the AR-15 30-round mags are banned, I guess I won't be able to do this. They're going to find a way, and there are several other ways to go about this, and they will do what they are intent on doing. is start banning flash hiders and bayonet lugs and 30-round magazines and collapsible stocks. Anybody want to tell me what in the Sam? I'd like to say a few choice words here, but I'm going to refrain. Anybody want to tell me what banning a collapsible stock on an AR-15 would have done to hinder any mass shooting that has happened in the past 10, 15 years? Can you give me one case where it would have saved one individual? Same with a flash hider. You know, some people say that, well, you know, if they ban the 30-round magazines, then they have to reload, and that takes a second. Really? It does. It takes less than a second to reload. You are not going to stop or prevent anything by these changes that will come in the gun bans that will be drawn up. The thing that you should do is look at common sense ways to help protect people from these psychos that insist that they are going to kill groups of people. So what is a common sense way to stop someone that is going to do what they want to do regardless of the law or signs posted outside the building? The most logical thing to do is to arm as many law-abiding citizens as you can and have those people that occupy the buildings and the schools armed. The law-abiding citizens with no record that have the training, you arm those people so they have a fighting chance. Can you imagine these people cowering in a room in the corner, in the closets, in the bathrooms, just listening to the sounds because there's nothing they don't feel there's anything they can do? Versus a man that could go in there and have a permit and have a carry concealed handgun on his side in his waistband. How much more you up the odds of saving lives in that situation? There's not a lot of common sense with the far left liberals these days. You have people like Bill Maher, Rosie O'Donnell, Hillary Clinton, Barbara Boxer. These people should have a piece of that trial when it comes to these murder trials on mass shootings. These are the ones that are pushing and promoting and constantly pushing for more gun control. You see, the thing is with all these people, that the hardcore left that pushes this gun control, these communists, it's control. They know that no matter what happens and no matter how many laws are passed, that the crack dealer in the big cities are still going to carry a gun. It's not about that. It's about controlling all citizens in the United States and disarming all citizens so that the government is in complete control. That's the real truth of the matter. Let's talk a little bit more about that fat pig named Rosie O'Donnell who gets up there and spews all her rhetoric about banning guns and banning all these items and getting rid of this and that for the law-abiding citizen, because that's all it would be doing, is getting rid of it for the law-abiding citizen. The criminals will still get their hands on whatever they want. And yet at the same time, her bodyguard is fully armed and carrying a gun. So what she's telling you is she is important enough for her and whatever family she has to be protected by guns, but you are not. You, the common citizen of the United States of America, has no right to protection, has no right to freedom, no right to liberty. You just have to sit back and take whatever comes your way. That's what Rosie O'Donnell, Bill Maher, Hillary Clinton, Barbara Boxer, this is what they're all telling you every time they do this. You get raped, you get robbed, you get your house broken into, your family gets killed. It doesn't matter, right? They want you under complete control. As far as for them and their family, they'll be protected by guns. You see, what all these people are doing, these hardcore liberals and Bill Maher and Hillary Clinton, Rosie O'Donnell, Barbara Boxer, and Dianne Feinstein, what these people do whenever there is a mass shooting or something goes wrong like that in society today, they skirt the blame right off of the person that did it, which is the one that you should be blaming, and they take all that blame and they put it on this right here. They put it on these AR-15s or AK-47s, of course semi-auto AK variants. This is a semi-auto AR-15, shoots one round per trigger pull, but this is what they push the blame on. Immediately when somebody does something like this, they overlook the person that did it, and they say, oh, we have to ban these. We can no longer have these in society. People don't need them. Well, the fact of the matter is, it's not about what we need. It's about our right as a citizen of the United States. Yes, we don't need a Corvette that goes 180 miles an hour, but guess what? You could take that Corvette away, because those aren't guaranteed in the Constitution like this is right here. This is to protect us from tyranny in the government. The Constitution says nothing about hunting. The Constitution says nothing about sport shooting. We are to have these to protect ourselves against tyrants and government. And I'm telling you what, they are fastly and quickly trying to strip us of these rights, one single ban at a time. And that's what they're working toward. This is guaranteed to us. The right to defend ourselves, the right to keep and bear arms, which we now, if you're a carry concealed holder, you pay a fee, and you get taxed on that to actually carry your gun, which is already written in the Constitution, which is wrong in and of itself right there. And that's what these are for, to protect ourselves, our family, our lives, and the threat of a tyrant. This AR-15 in of itself cannot do anything. It's made of steel, metal, polymer, and if you sit it on a table, 20 years later, you'll come back, and this same gun will be sitting on that table just like it was when you laid it down. But the anti-gunners would have you believe that this is what you look at as the evil in today's society. This is what you blame when you want to blame something. You know, I never heard nobody calling for the banning of airplanes after the 9/11 attacks. How come nobody wanted to ban airlines and airliners? Why not? It's the same logic that you're doing right here with these. What about how many drunk drivers kill people every year on United States highways? Several thousands a year. I never heard Rosie O'Donnell come out one time and say we need to ban cars. And you never will hear her say that. The reason is it's because it's about complete control over the citizens of the United States. That's the bottom line. Without this, we have no control. The government is in full and complete control, and we have no way of protecting ourselves and our loved ones. And that's the way that these people want it. Bill Maher, I wouldn't give you a dime for that horse-faced idiot. That guy's the biggest joke that I've ever seen on a television screen. Come on, people. Common sense. Common sense. You have guys like Bill Maher that get on camera and they make fun of all these gun guys and talk like we're hillbillies and call us nicknames like Jed. Hey, Jed, they're coming to take our guns. I heard him say that before on a show he was on. Well, you know what? We're not all hillbillies, Bill Maher. We're not rednecks. We are true, red-blooded American citizens that are doing what this country was founded upon. The right to keep and bear arms. It's in the Constitution. We're not some hillbilly rednecks and all this stuff. You know, I don't see him making jokes and commentary on certain ethnic groups and the way that people stereotype them. But it's just, you know, heaven forbid that he would see anybody do that. But it's okay to make fun of gun owners, call them hillbillies, rednecks, make fun of them, stereotype them. That's perfectly fine, right, Bill Maher? You got a screw loose, buddy. You got more than a screw loose. There's big problems. There's big problems with you. Michael Moore, that's another one. Michael Moore is a coward. I'm going to tell you guys that these anti-gun guys like Bill Maher and Michael Moore and all these people that call for gun control, these people are nothing more than a coward. These are the type of guys that if something was happening in their family, they'd cower in a corner and wouldn't move a finger to help anyone, or if they was out in public. We need real men that'll step up to the plate, do what they have to do, use what's necessary. These liberal pansies, they can't fathom that. They can't fathom stepping up to the plate and saving their family or saving those in public. Just because you're not a real man, Michael Moore, doesn't mean that my ability to protect my family and those around me or those that need it should be taken away. You can do whatever you want to do. You can run and hide in a corner like I know you would, Bill Maher. I know you would. Run and go stick your head down in the sand when things went wrong. But not this guy, pal. You won't see it here on this end. And there's a lot of other gun guys that have the same mindset as I do. We're not going to go run and hide in a corner and let thieves and robbers and rapists and murderers come and take and devour and do whatever they'd like to do in our homes and in the public. Where are the real men that we used to have in this country? Real men that were around at the time of World War I and World War II. Michael Moore and Bill Maher, you're not real men. You sit back with your little jester hat on and make jokes about gun people and gun guys and trying to ban everything, while meanwhile all of our rights and freedoms in this country are going down the drain. And we're losing all of our rights to protect ourselves and those that we love. It's not a joke. It's not funny to me how Bill Maher gets on his show every evening and makes comments and is sarcastic about everything to deal with guns. It's not a joke to me, Bill Maher. This is serious business. You're not a man. You're less than a woman to me. You are way less than a woman to me. I would rather have a woman fighting in combat with me than I would Bill Maher or Michael Moore any day. I guess the fact of the matter is, what we're going to have to do is use common sense to find ways to help the situations that have happened in this country. And the common sense way, number one, is not blaming the gun. You need to blame the person that was holding the gun, that was intent on murdering. That is who is to blame in that situation. Number two, banning any and everything from millions upon millions of law-abiding citizens just to stop a few psychos and what they might do, even though they'll never stop anyway if they want to do something, is not the way to do it. The most common sense logical thing to do is, like I said previously, you arm those that have a clean record and have training and want to be armed. You let as many of those people carry their sidearm as you can. In fact, encourage them to carry their sidearm whenever they can and make sure they carry it at all times. This is how you go about combating all of these things that have been happening in the recent years in this country. If we take a step in that direction, that's the most logical thing to do, and that's the best approach that I can see of having the best outcome, is having somebody in there that can actually stop what's going on at the time of the shootings. One man with something as simple as a .380 caliber handgun in his pocket with a 10% chance of stopping an active shooter is 1,000 times better than one man with just his fists. If a psycho were to board a Greyhound bus full of passengers and drive that bus off of a cliff and everyone on the bus died, everyone would be talking about how tragic it was and how sad and the sorrow that they all feel. But when you have a psycho that does anything that he's intent on doing and uses a gun, everything in that conversation then diverts to this, and this is made out to be the culprit. It's no longer about how sad it was and how it shouldn't have happened and the guy who did it, but this is what it turns into. They say how we have to ban these and how we have to get rid of them and how we don't need them. Nothing could be further from the truth. We seem to have lost all of the common sense in this country. And that starts up high, at the highest office in the land, and works its way down through the ranks. All of this stuff that we have in this country that's called political correctness, that's another thing that we are drowning in this country. Everybody thinks they have to say the right thing or do the right thing, and you can't say this or you can't say that or you're a racist. Things didn't used to be like that, and I don't think it should be like that today. You got to call things like it is and call it what it is. We don't need to have to watch every single word that we say. But this liberal media that pumps over this thing behind my head, this television, which I don't have cable for, and the liberal news media will slant everything that they can and word everything that they can to make gun owners and guns look like that it's the most evil thing in this country. And they have been doing this for years. In fact, they'll take recorded 911 conversations that were used where somebody did a shooting, and they will cut pieces out to make it fit their agenda, so it looks like that the shooter is the bad guy. You see, this liberal media doesn't care about protecting lives or protecting women from rape or protecting people from murder. It just wants to protect its own agenda. I've had a few people make this comment on my channel before, and that comment was, well, do people ever use guns to avert crime? I never hear anything about it. And let me tell you something. There is hundreds, if not thousands, of cases a year where a firearm, rifle, shotgun, or handgun is used to divert crime or stop a criminal. There is books published every year for the previous year that you can buy that has a listing of stories in all the different states of where an armed man saved the day. Also, there is a lot of times that someone pulls a gun on someone to stop a crime or a criminal, and it never gets reported. This happens thousands of times a year. Somebody comes up to a man on the street in his car or at night and pulls a knife or threatens this man's life, and he pulls a gun, and that person then retreats and takes off. A lot of times these things never go reported to the police, therefore there's no paperwork of it. And if all of those cases were combined with the yearly cases of people that use their firearm and save the day, that list would be much longer. I could probably make a video that was 2 hours long, and that would just be a part one of things that are wrong in this country, things that have changed over the years. And I could do rants all day, 24 hours a day for a week, and I wouldn't even have scratched the surface. It just seems to be the road that we're going down in this country. And it's rapidly moving down that road. I hope for our sake and for our children's sake and our grandchildren's sake that we can at least keep the Second Amendment alive and protect our freedoms and our rights in this country. Because without the Second Amendment and the rights we have with firearms and the rights we have to protect ourselves, our country doesn't stand out from any other country on this planet. It's the only thing that separates us from 99% of the other countries in this world.